Final score, Bolton Wanderers 0, Wrexham 0. An excellent performance, an excellent result for Wrexham against a side that I feel confident is going to go straight up this season. They should have done last season. They've kept all their key players and they've added more quality. Bolton away, maybe on paper, our toughest fixture of the season. And we did really, really well. Could have got a win, in fact. It was tight. There weren't all that many clear-cut chances, but it was a game of real quality. There was genuine tension in the air. Bolton having much the better of the first 15-20 minutes, then Wrexham working them out, and after that really doing well to go toe-to-toe. It was tight. There were interesting little tactical tweaks that happened, and yeah, I don't think anybody who was there would have been disappointed what they witnessed. I'm saying this because I have to say I got home and I had a quick look and saw the end of the commentary on TV, and I was really quite startled at how negative they were about the game. This sort of simplistic idea that a goalless draw is dull. Gosh, this was a really, I thought, high-quality match for League One. I think it really established that we are a serious team in League One, that we can go there and not just survive, but actually play at Bolton. And I don't understand. It seems sometimes that TV commentators forget the context, shall we say. It's not about giving entertainment, it's about getting results football. Wrexham have gone there knowing that we'd love to win it, but if we can show we can go toe-to-toe with a strong team, if we can get a draw or a clean sheet and we get both, that's good. We don't go in there thinking, oh, let's hope there's lots of goals for TV cameras. You know, we gave them that on Tuesday. Anyway, rant over. Let's have a look at the performance because, like I said, Wrexham again did well. Interesting change. Ryan Barnett, who played very well against Wickham on last Saturday, made way for Seb Reven. Reven, of course, is primarily a left-sided wing-back, but can play on the right. He showed how well he can play on the right on this occasion. I wonder if it's because, I mean, they've got a real quality player down the left-hand side in Smolks Schön, and he's fast as anything, and whether the thought was that Reven will be well suited to taking him on and being on his strong side when Schön cuts inside, I don't know, but it worked really well. Having said that, first 15 or so minutes, he did ride our luck. Bolton started very strongly. We followed on from Wickham, unfortunately, and maybe not dealing with set pieces as well as we might have done. And we had a few little hairy moments. As early as the fourth moment, Charles laying a ball off to Collins, who drove in a good shot from about 20-25 yards out, just right of centre, driven across Okonkwo. From our vantage points, I think it might just have been going wide, but Okonkwo certainly couldn't take that chance, and it was a terrific save, full stretch as the ball kept low, just to touch it around the post. That corner caused real problems. They were floating them all into the near post. This one dropped in the goal mouth, and for a long time he just couldn't see where the ball was. It was terrifying. Okonkwo lunged into the crowd, and you think, okay, cool, he's going to merge with the ball. And then after a little bit more scramble, you can see the ball ricocheting around amongst people's legs while Okonkwo was still in there scrabbling for it. You thought, oh dear, one little touch and this is a goal, but Wrexham managed to hack it clear. During this period, I did feel it was quite reminiscent, and I know it's a totally different style of football, to the problems we had after Christmas when we went to places like Accrington and Salford, and they just got in our faces and we didn't back ourselves to pass our way out of trouble. It felt like that, although obviously Bolton aren't playing that style of football, but they were pressing well and they were just penning us in. Another opportunity came and Thomason fed a clever ball in towards the penalty spot. McAtee cut in a nice run from the left-hand side. He made an odd contact with the ball. It looked like he'd sort of mishit it and sort of scooped it up in the air. It went over Okonkwo though and landed on the roof of the net. Being McAtee, who is a good technical striker, maybe it was deliberate, it was very unorthodox, but it would have been, if it was deliberate, a brilliant goal had it been had just a tiny bit less on it, because Okonkwo had no real chance to reach it as it soared over his head. And then after that, Sheehan, with a free kick on the flank, swept the ball in under the bar, Okonkwo making a good save, tipping it over the bar. As the half wore on though, we started to get a bit more control. I mean, if you're in that situation I was describing earlier, you can't have a better player really than George Dobson to provide a solution, and Dobson was excellent. Once we started feeding him and we were under pressure, he could find a pass to get us out up the pitch and into midfield, and we started to get back into the match. Certainly Bolton would not threaten in such a sustained manner again in the match. It was much more even from this point on, and Wrexham in fact carved out just after the half hour a real opportunity. Lee floating a great corner to the far post. Cleworth got up, very good awareness, realised O'Connor was lurking around the penalty spot, knotted it down perfectly for him. O'Connor hit it with power, but there were so many players in the 6-yard box that it hit a body and ricocheted away to safety. So half time, 0-0, and Wrexham were really starting to get into the game. The second half throughout was similar to that last 15 minutes of the first half. Wrexham started quickly. O'Connor standing at a good ball up to the edge of the box. Lee getting ahead of the strikers, nodded it nicely back to Marriott, who struck the ball powerfully, and Baxter had to get down really well to tip the ball around the post. But from the corner, Bolton broke away threateningly. A long ball, O'Connell underneath it, could only knock it down as far as McAtee, and he fed Charles in the left channel. It was a real sight of goal. He's a good striker, Charles, and he takes these sorts of chances, and he drove it across Okonkwo, but he didn't make proper contact with it. In fact, the greatest threat of it was that Okonkwo went down too soon because he anticipated a better contact. If a funny bounce could have skipped it over him, but it was a pretty comfortable free kick, save. Wrexham then going back up the other end, O'Connor's free kick from the right flank causing a scramble of our own in that goal mouth, but again we couldn't get a decisive touch on it. Before the highlight of the match in many ways, in the 57th minute, a nice move ending with Thomason again, the player who feeds the ball neatly into danger area. Charles span brilliantly away from O'Connell. O'Connell stuck with him, and as Charles hit it from the edge of the box, O'Connell managed to get a deflection, but the deflection took the ball over and beyond Okonkwo. A brilliant save by the big man, an absolute full stretch to tip it round the post. I mean, it was a great save, and I'm sure you can appreciate when Okonkwo's at full stretch, there's a lot of stretching going on. Most keepers wouldn't have reached that, but it was a heck of a save. There weren't many really massively open chances, but there were opportunities. Wrexham again coming back. Lee striking a powerful shot, two straight, and Baxter able to parry it and pick the loose ball up. McLean was in a good position, but I think Lee was probably right to go for himself, having worked himself towards the edge of the D. And then another moment for Wrexham, Lee sweeping in a free kick, the ball half clear to McLean, who met it on the volley just outside the D. Really clean strike, couldn't quite keep it down though, and it went into the massive contingent of Wrexham fans. This is the time to say that. It was a brilliant atmosphere. I sometimes feel like I find it hard sitting over the halfway line to work out who's making all the noise, and I did think for a while it was Bolton, but Wrexham it was. Goodness me, the Wrexham fans made a terrific racket in a game which was played in a fantastic atmosphere. Then it was Bolton coming back and looking to cause problems. A corner on the right hand side, swept across to the far post. Now Okonkwo backpedals. Charles is on Okonkwo to try and pen him in, and Cannon is marking Charles, and Okonkwo tries to backpedal and runs into Charles. Not a foul, but again makes it difficult for him, so flailing he can't reach it. The ball goes beyond the far post where Toll nods it back in. It's an open goal from a tight angle, and he fails to hit the target. He heads it across the open goal. It just travels parallel to the line about a yard out, and Cleworth at the far post is able to effect a clearance, but he can only pop it up in the air. And now Santos, the massive Bolton skipper, sees his opportunity, spins round and goes to attack that ball. He gets there ahead of Okonkwo, but heads the ball over the bar. I personally felt if it had gone in, it shouldn't count, because Charles is still in there wrestling now with Cannon, and in doing so he impedes Okonkwo, which means he doesn't get there ahead of Santos. But the ref seemed to give it a goal kick, so it may well have counted. Stephen Fletcher comes on for Ollie Palmer with 18 minutes left. Palmer really worked his socks off and did well, and Fletcher then has an impact, and it's Wrexham actually who have the chances really from now on. Reven driving down the right-hand side, cutting in nicely, but on his left foot, finishing wildly, and the ball went high in the Wrexham fans. Rathbone again came on for Marius. More about that later. That's quite interesting. But then it was Wrexham again, with Dobson finding a good pass to Fletcher, who cut inside. It sat up nicely for him, and he drilled a tremendous shot from just outside the box. Baxter had to be quick to get down to his right, couldn't hold it, parried it back into the goal mouth, but nobody was following in, and he was able to grab it. And then in the 93rd minute, 3 minutes added on, both sides had a moment. Firstly, Bolton had a shout for a penalty, O'Connell on Santos. Again, the TV guys, I didn't see eye to eye with them, thought it was a penalty. I can't really agree. It's one of those corners beyond the far post. Santos is looking to get underneath it, backpedaling. O'Connell has hold of his shirt. I'm not denying that. And insofar as, letter of the law, pulling a shirt is a foul, it's a penalty. But then there would have been about 18 penalties in that match, because defenders do that all the time. Santos just carries on. He doesn't ask for a foul. I don't think it's really impeding him. And he does get his header back across. The ref doesn't give it. I think he's right. I mean, I would say that. I think he's right according to how the game is refereed, because those don't get given very often. He did hang on to him a little bit too long, but yeah, okay. If it had been given, I would have thought, right, that was a daft thing to do. But I've also thought it was a little bit harsh. But anyway, Wrexham break away immediately, and suddenly, Rathbone does ever so well. He gets the ball in a crowded midfield, and he takes a lovely touch just to sidestep his man, and then plays a perfect ball out to the right, and it's 2-on-1. Reven's tearing down the right-hand side. Dobson is unmarked in the middle, in acres of space. Shearn is the only defender back. He positions himself between Reven and Dobson, and does ever so well, as Reven looks to play the killer pass it goes behind Shearn, but he just about manages to get a back heel on it and knock it away to safety, and it ends 0-0. Pity, because if Reven could have found Dobson, well, what a moment that was. But yeah, a draw was a fair result, absolutely, and that's what's so pleasing about it. We've gone to such a strong team. We deserve a clean sheet and a draw. Looking at the performances, Okonkwo was very impressive. He had those moments in that incident when Santos heads over, but like I said, it was being impeded. That was the issue for him there, and a couple of excellent saves. That second one in the second half from Charles, early contender for save of the season, I would say. Looking at the centre-backs, they all, I thought, put in a good shift. Cleworth was terrific. There was just no problems coming from Cleworth's part of the pitch at all. He was just very calmly in control. Didn't do anything dramatic or anything that really stood out. He just controlled what was going on there. Very impressive. O'Connell has a real ding-dong with Charles, and Charles is a good striker. I did get the better of him on a couple of occasions, but O'Connell was sound, and O'Connor did well down the left-hand side as well. Again, solid on the ball, solid when it came to defending the penalty area. So back three, again, looked good. The wing-backs, Reven was terrific down the right-hand side. Tremendous energy. Like I said, Shearn is class. He played 2 group games for Hungary in the Euro 2020 Championships, which were played in 21. So, this guy's got pedigree. But Reven did ever so well. Shearn didn't get past him that I can recall, wasn't getting crosses in, and Reven a couple of times caused problems with his pace in the first half. I would say, Shearn's going to get troubled by pace. You're pretty quick. On the other side, McLean was solid, actually. Didn't do anything too dramatic, but again, defensively was sound, although he did give away an unnecessary free kick right at the end of the 3rd minute of added time. The last action of the match, Wrexham dealt with it okay. He just got done, dangled his leg out and gave it away, and that could have been costly, but no, McLean was solidly in control. In the centre of midfield, I still love George Dobson. What a quality player. The way he moves that ball around, the command he's got, the vision he's got, tremendous and invaluable in this match as we bypassed Bolton's press by basically using him as our cheat code. Either side of him, again, Lee, I thought did well, had one decent shot. It was one of those games where he was going to have to roll his sleeves up and do an awful lot of donkey work, and he did that admirably. And then on the other side, Cannon, especially in the second half, so tenacious, really fought for a lot of 50-50s, carried the ball forwards better, I thought, in the second half. Although we found nice little pockets of space, he and Lee, in the first half. And again, a good performance by him. Front, right, kudos to Palmer and Marius. They didn't have a huge amount of service, a decent amount, but they both worked hard to hold the ball up. They both had little moments where they did ever so well. Palmer was physically doing well. He won a lot of headers. He avoided Santos wisely, and Wrexham up standing him diagonals, mostly against Johnston, and he won that aerial battle. Johnston's a very good player, by the way, but Palmer won that battle. And then Marius was very sharp, darting around, only had that chance early in the second half, really. But again, as he's already done on Tuesday at Sheffield, charged down the keeper well again. Yeah, he's looking sharp and in decent form. Decent form, not indecent form. That would be a terrifying thought. Sorry. Anyway, and then the subs now. Well, Fletcher did a Fletcher, came on, really troubled tiring defenders, was beating Santos in the air and had that cracking shot from the edge of the area, getting quality Fletcher. George Evans came on near the end, didn't have much chance to do anything, but I want to look at Rathbone, who again was put on in that attacking position that he played at Sheffield United, which is a surprise. 22 career goals, and certainly I was talking to a TalkSport reporter who last season covered Rotherham, who by the way said that Revan and Rathbone were by far and away the two best players in a poor team. He meant that as a compliment. And he was quite shocked to see Rathbone so high at the pitch, saying he always plays a lot deeper and drives forwards. I mean, I wonder if it was just a little tactical tweak this at the end of a game, just to try and tighten the game up, because Bolton are a good team to watch. The centre-backs were certainly Santos and Johnston in particular, really comfortable coming into midfield and joining in with play, and maybe having Rathbone up there for the closing periods just disrupts that. So he's good at closing down and hassling and stopping those three centre-backs from stepping up and driving us further back. So it could be just a little sort of a horses for courses substitution, if you will, for that situation in the match. But we also saw, I think for the first time, exactly why Parkinson was very keen to get him. That chance, the 2-on-1 at the end, Rathbone's set-up play was quality. You know, he gets the ball in a situation where I think a lot of players, you know, they've cleared a corner. Well, sorry, we've cleared a corner. He's about 30 yards out from his own goal. He's got a couple of Bolton players converging on him, and a lower quality player, especially as Revan's making a run, would be tempted to just launch it early and hope that Revan's pace can make something of it. But Rathbone was calm in that situation, took a good touch, which allowed him then to sidestep one of the players, and by that point Revan's got into a great position, and he plays the well-weighted pass to set him up for the chance to put Dobson in. And that was class, I thought, by Rathbone. It was really good. I think we need to see him playing a bit deeper and driving forwards, but that moment really encouraged me. Great performance by Wrexham, that, against an excellent Bolton team. I got a great deal of respect for Bolton, and I enjoyed the way that they played, and they've got a lot of good players, and they've got a heck of a lot of good firepower as well. Charles and Aaron Collins, and then they brought on goal-scoring substitute from last Saturday. They've got quality. McAtee as well, of course. They've got good quality and depth. I think they're going to win it this year myself. But we went toe-to-toe and matched them and grew as the game went on, and that's very pleasing. So, good stuff so far in the league, with the final score of Bolton Wanderers 0, Wrexham 0. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.